is Rebecca Schissel Marshall with Whole Body Upgrade, a podcast to help you get unstuck, feel better, and have more energy. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to episode 81 of the Whole Body Upgrade podcast. Let's begin by welcoming in the directions. I welcome in the great direction of the east, the south, the west, and the north. I welcome in the great direction that is above and below and the direction that is within. I welcome in all the helping and compassionate spirits and the ancestors that have lived well and died well. And I ask that what needs to be said will be said and what needs to be heard will be heard. And I acknowledge that I'm on the land of the creek in the Cherokee in what is now known as Athens, Georgia. So hello and welcome back. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be here today, and I'm really grateful that you are here with me. It's been a really busy week. I've been preparing for the Whole Body Upgrade course that is starting soon. Very exciting. The course website opens on March 25th. And the first live call will be April 1st. And I've also been preparing the Burnout Recovery Workshop that I'm offering on this Monday on March 21st at noon Eastern Time. This is a free workshop for anyone in my community. If you're on my email list, you'll get the link. So if you're not on my email list, I will put the link in the comments. Get on my email list. That's how you find out about all the free things that I offer. This free workshop is really to give you an experience, to give anyone who joins the experience of having some relief from burnout. I want everyone to walk away having learned something by doing some of these evidence-based practices that I'm going to practice with the people who show up, with the community. So it's super exciting. And they're practices not just that are evidence-based, but that I've used in my own life. Some of them are ones that don't have a lot of science behind them, but that I have my own personal experience of, yeah, that really helped me. That supported me. So it's a great, and I'll say it's a great introduction to the Whole Body Upgrade course that begins then in April. So if you're feeling stuck or exhausted or burned out, or if you're having migraines or digestive issues, this Whole Body Upgrade, this 8-week course, is really an amazing healing container that will help you change your life. And I really do mean that. I don't say that lightly. It can change so much from not only your perspective and the way you do things, but how you feel. I've taught this course several times. This is a course that I developed and have taught for a few years now. And it's really amazing every time I teach it to watch people change in this short period of time. It used to be 6 weeks and now it's 8 weeks. And I'm always kind of playing with that to see what is the best amount of time for people. What I see is that people will walk away from this course without chronic pain that they've had for a very long time that other people, other healthcare workers couldn't quite figure out. They walk away from feeling stuck. They start having more energy. They feel clear. There's clarity there. They have a better mood. They just overall feel better. And I wish there was a better way to document that. Sleeping better. There's some of the ways that you can measure it is they sleep better. They aren't feeling as anxious or depressed as often, right? That's what I see in this Whole Body Upgrade course. So it is really the application of how can we change all of the wellness bodies that we have, all of who we are physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. And it's super fun for me to watch them step into being the expert of their own wellness journey. And that's what I really want to talk to you about today, being the expert in your own whatever, being the expert of your life. I tend to talk a lot about wellness, burnout, and being exhausted and how to shift that. So, that's a lot of what I work with my clients is how to be the expert in your own wellness journey. So that may come as a surprise to you that you are your own expert. And that's been my experience in my own health and wellness. I spent so much of my life really listening to others regarding what was going on with my mental, emotional, energetic, and physical bodies. I didn't really have that inward facing experience. And I constantly went off to the, and I'm going to put in quotes, experts, right? Who would know what was wrong, who would know what to do. And often what was really interesting is I would be like, there's something wrong. You've got to help me. And then I would be told, there's nothing wrong. You don't need to worry about it. And it was like, like there was this incongruence to what was happening. And years later, what I found out is that there actually was something going on. And in fact, this happened to me several times where people would say like, oh, you're fine. It's not a big deal. And then it would be like, eventually I would get to the thing that was causing what I suspected was the problem. And then there it was, right? Then I could find some relief. So later I found out they were wrong. The ones that I thought were experts. So we give away so much of who we are to others. And this can be true even in day-to-day life, right? We watch advertising and we think that what the advertisers, I watch this with my boys so often if they're watching something and there's an advertisement that comes on, we think what they're saying in the advertisement is true, even though it often isn't, or it's not completely true. A good example of this is the pharmaceutical company ads. Oh my goodness. They talk about how this will help this and it'll help that. And it might be. And if you listen really closely, all of the other side effects that go along with it, all of the other things that are happening. So the capital T truth is there might be another way to address the situation. This may be just one way of addressing it. So it sounds like the truth. This will help you with whatever dysfunction that you're having. But it's often not the complete truth. Or another example might be that we hear from some doctors, not all doctors, but some that what we are experiencing as women, this is a very common thing that I hear. What we are experiencing as women is actually in our heads. So many times clients come to me and they've heard some iteration of that from their doctors. Or the doctors just say, well, you just need to lose weight and then you'll feel better. Don't get me started on all that. Or we hear from teachers, right? Teachers in the school system. Again, not all, but some. This was my experience in school, that I should sit still and learn in a certain way and do things in a certain way, even though my own body was not meant to learn or be like that. The messages that we get from our society, in the American society, we're presented with over and over again, basically that we shouldn't trust ourselves, right? And that someone else is the expert, whether that's a pharmaceutical company, a doctor, a teacher, right? The football team, whoever it is. We are often taught not to trust ourselves. What I've learned over the years, and this is something I'm continually practicing for myself, is that I'm practicing how to undo that external looking to others, right? That giving away my own trust in myself, right? I've learned instead to turn and listen to my body, to my inner wisdom, to my breath, and to life. It's turning to me as the expert. I still will gather information from others. Yes. I educate myself. Yes. I learn. Yes. And I sit in the seat as the expert of what I will decide to do. So I've practiced this in many ways in my own life, raising my children, what I eat. There's a big societal message in what foods we should be eating, how I take care of my body, even down to what I wear, and how I define wellness and success. I continually gather the information to find what resonates with me. Now, of course, there are times I forget. I do forget. And usually my experience is it doesn't really end up very well when I forget to trust myself, right? This listening to myself as a practice, what happens is it builds a very strong relationship with myself. And this is one of the foundational and most important things that I found in my life. So let me give you an example. This is an interesting example from my son. My son had a birthday in the last week, and he really just exemplified this to me. It just popped into my head when I was thinking about this for a podcast episode. Every year for holidays or birthdays, for the last couple of years, he's asked for money. Like, we're like, what do you want? Do you want any people, my mother-in-law, my mother asking, what do you want for a gift? We're asking him. He's like, I want money. And we were all just a little bit bewildered because this is so different, right? He just wanted money. He didn't really, we were like, are you saving for something? Is there something that you want? No. What happened was he saved this money from birthdays and holidays and allowance and work he did around the house. And every once in a while, he would sit down and count it, like, I don't know, maybe every 6 months or so. And of course, it kept adding up, right? There were lots of birthdays and holidays and things that would add up. This year, just a few weeks ago, he sat down and added it all up, and he announced how much he had made, which was a lot. He had this large sum of money, and he announced that he was going to buy a gaming computer for himself with this. And he showed me which one he wanted, and he had done the research on it, and it was very clear and rational. And he bought it. He bought himself an expensive gaming computer that, I wouldn't have picked out for him. I wouldn't have guessed that. He didn't even know he wanted it when he was saving money. Saving that money over time, little by little, he didn't know that he was going to buy that. But every quarter, every dollar, every $20 bill that he placed in his, piggy bank until he reached that tipping point of having enough money and then suddenly knowing in that moment what he wanted. Your expertness, your ability to be your own expert is kind of like this. Each time you trust yourself, each time you listen to your body, each time you ask your own inner wisdom what feels right for you, it's like putting that quarter or dollar or $20 bill in the bank. You may not know what you need it for, but it's practicing that skill of trusting yourself over and over and over again. And there will probably be a time that you need to use that reserve for something that's big, where you need to trust that you have your own expertness. It might be like leaving a job or a marriage or changing careers, or maybe even just something as small as, what do I want to eat today? Or how do I want to move my body today? This little listening is where we build trust and how we become our own experts. when I work with my clients in either one-on-one, an individual, or when I'm working with them in the Whole Body Upgrade course, this is exactly what I want them to walk away with. I want them to gather this information, to practice tuning in to their own, in shamanism, they talk about a truth chord, right? What resonates for me? What is the thing that I want? They are already the expert, right? But I want them to have this information, this education, these experiences that support them to fully stepping into this role as the expert. They're already there. They already have it. It's not like we have to learn how, right? We're just uncovering. Sometimes it just takes me holding the space for them so that they can see how they are already the expert in their own lives. So that's what I want you to remember. I want you to remember that you are the expert. And I'd like to invite you to join me in the Whole Body Upgrade course that opens very soon, March 25th. And it's a small 8-week course. There'll be a small group of people, and it's only $333. So this course that you'll have videos and audios, it's an amazing amount of information and experiential practices so that you can really be empowered and, again, step into that role of you being the expert in stepping out of burnout and stepping into wellness and health. I want to empower as many women as I can. I want every woman to trust who they are and what they choose each day. I really believe that this is how we're going to change the world. And a part of that is that we're smashing the patriarchy. So isn't that amazing? When as women, we trust ourselves, we listen to ourselves, we don't go outside for the experts, we change how the system was originally designed to be, which was to keep us down, to keep us small, and to be looking outward for answers. So join my email list, get on my email list so that you can get that link. The link will arrive 90 minutes before the workshop begins. Again, that's March 21st at noon. And join me for that free burnout recovery workshop. It'll give you a little taste, give you a nice kickoff to the Whole Body Upgrade course. Okay, dear ones, thank you so much for being here today. I am so appreciative of you and your time and your attention, and I cannot wait to see how you trust yourself and how you become your own expert. So keep being your own expert and take good care of yourself. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Whole Body Upgrade. If you'd like to learn more about working with me, you can visit me on Facebook or Instagram or on my website, Centered You, that's centeredyou.com. See you on the next episode of Whole Body Upgrade.